Under the secret orders of Jedi Master Sifo Dyas, the Kaminoan government is presented with a massive challenge of producing an army for the Galactic Republic. Using the genetic code of the bounty hunter Jango Fett, the clones endured an accelerated growth program and intensive education to prepare them for the imminent war. Before graduating to become a member of the Grand Army of the Republic, the youthful clone cadets had to undergo a series of trials to prove that they were battle-worthy, otherwise they would be placed on maintenance duty or non-combat roles, and one such group who failed was the Domino Squad. The clones of Fives, Echo, Hevy, Cutup and Droidbait were known for their failings in training sessions, but the bounty hunter LS overseeing the program convinced Shaak Ti to provide them with a chance for redemption. After advice from the maintenance clone 99 about the importance of team cohesion, the clones passed their final test and are instated as clones for the Grand Army. But as with so many other clones, the Domino Squad failed to survive to the end of the war, as on the Rishi Moon outpost, it is firstly Droidbait who falls to a group of commando droids, then Cutup was swallowed by Rishi Eel, and finally Hevy sacrificed himself to destroy the base and prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Echo was the last to remain, despite his supposed death on the planet of Lola Sayu, as Fives perished at the blast of Commander Fox trying to uncover Order 66, and Echo is saved from the hand of the Separatists by a group led by Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker. But what if all of Domino's squad had survived the mission on the Rishi Moon outpost? Could they be as effective as other squads such as Clone Force 99? As you'll discover, their survival could have changed the fate of the clone army. In a Republic Venator class Star Destroyer, the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and his master Obi-Wan Kenobi received a transmission from Commander Cody that they had just completed their inspection on Pastille and were now transferring to the Rishi station before he disappeared. The tired Anakin could sense something wrong, and despite his insistence on going, Obi-Wan stepped in and nominated himself to go and bolster the inspection, and taking his Jedi starfighter ahead of Rex and Cody, he found that his Padawan had been right, as two droid boarding ships had landed on the surface of the moon. The Jedi Master led from his ship before the commando droids could enter the listening post, and his delay gave those on the inside to emerge and fire back at the droids, completing their defense just as Cody and Rex arrived. The two senior clones head to the top of the outpost, where to their frustration, an entire Separatist fleet was heading in their direction. As their signal had not been rerouted by the droids, Obi-Wan is able to find Admiral Yularen and Anakin, and warn them of the imminent invasion on Kamino, as the Jedi help their clones fight the second wave of droids. The B-1 battle droids may have been superior in their number, but with Hevy harming a Z6 rotary blaster cannon and the efficiency of the cadets, Obi-Wan can jump back on board his ship and join Anakin in warning those on Kamino of the Separatist fleet. With the Rishi Moon outpost in the hands of the Republic, the Jedi position their fleet to blockade Kamino and mobilise additional forces over the outpost, helping to signal them of the opposition leaving hyperspace. The small fleet deployed by Obi-Wan is a distraction to Ventress, as they manage to warn the Jedi of the impending attack, but they could still do nothing about the Aqua droids. Domino's squad joined the rest of the 501st Legion in entering the facility in Taboga City, and after gaining additional weapons from the armory, Hevy helped to protect 99 as he equipped the group with more ammunition. As both Grievous and Ventress eventually retreated, and the DNA sample of Jango Fett returned to the hands of the Republic, the entire Domino squad are made ARC troopers, and very soon they became one of the most fearsome battalions in the Grand Army. But as the war progressed, the deaths of all of the clone troopers around them began to take its toll, and the near loss of Echo on Lola Sayu, then later the betrayal of Jedi Master Pong Krell, made the clones question the true purpose of the war. Later returning to Kamino again, after the clone trooper Tup had returned to the planet to be examined, Fives and the Domino squad were immensely suspicious of the Kaminoans, and they divide into groups to have their inhibitor chips removed, whilst Fives paid close attention to Tup. The ARC trooper removed his own chip with the help of AZI-3, and after comparing them to Tup's, he discovered a tumour that had caused Tup's to fail, as he then consulted 99, who was still working at the facility. The courageous clone had done his own research following the death of Master Tiplar, and had found the inhibitor chip was not used as a measure to control aggression, as Lola Sayu claimed, rather that it was used to further the cause of the Kaminoans. Fives is quick to contact Captain Rex and General Skywalker, and after the clone had snuck his way past the guards, he is startled to see 99 bringing up a holographic recording of the Kaminoans talking to Count Dooku. This was clear evidence that their inhibitor chips were not what the Kaminoans had claimed, and they tried to escape the facility until they were blocked by Shaak Ti. The Jedi Council member had been in the security room, and despite the clones failing to trigger the alarms, their force had alerted her to their presence. Igniting her blade, she questioned their motives for sneaking into Tipoca City when she saw the holographic transmission that was being played of Dooku talking to the Kaminoans. Master T is stunned into silence before trying to contact the Jedi Council, but Lola Sayu had alerted Dooku that Fives was becoming suspicious of them and had been ordered to jam all of the signals. The Jedi Master ordered the clones to leave for Coruscant in one of the Republic gunships as she tried to reactivate the signal to Coruscant. Entering back into the security room, she could sense something wrong, as the Kaminoans had vanished from their stations, and she immediately heard the sound of a dozen or so Magna Guards lunging with their electro staffs. The Togruta used her mastery of lightsaber combat in Forms 2 and 4 to gracefully dissect all of the droids, and make a move for the entrance of the facility where her ship had been, until she noticed that her Jedi starfighter had been replaced by a Separatist starship and her routes had been blocked. On an adjacent platform, Domino Squad and Rex had escaped through a maintenance hatch, holding the valuable discs that contained the evidence they needed, when they looked above and saw Master T allowing herself to be captured. The clones knew they could do nothing for the Jedi Master at that moment and snuck underneath the droids and onto an abandoned gunship, but to their disgust, it had been sabotaged by the Separatists. Echo desperately tries to repair the capacitor as the footsteps of the droids motor towards them, and just as they begin to surround the ship, Rex managed to take off. But from the water below, several remaining aqua droids rose up from beneath the water, grabbing their ship, then firing at will. Forced to eject themselves, the clones are saved by the passing native air whales, but they knew it would not be enough to take them off of the planet. The clones are pursued by a group of single droid aerial platforms through the rain clouds, until they heard the sound of multiple shots and cries of droids. Through the storm, a sleek looking shuttle emerged, and the hatch opened to beckon them inside. The occupants there to save them had been the legendary Clone Force 99, acting on a curious signal from the Rishi Moon outpost, and they took them back to Coruscant. Rex stood in front of the Domino Squad guarding the disc until they reached the Jedi Temple, and there General Skywalker escorts them to the Council Tower. Placing the disc in the centre of the room, the clones begin to tell the Jedi of what they had learned about the true reason for their creation, and Grandmaster Yoda immediately responds by ordering all clone martial commanders of the Grand Army of the Republic to have their inhibitor chips removed, then their subordinates. Next, planning for a way to rescue Master T, the clones insist on going after Palpatine first, but Master Windu wanted more proof of a direct connection to the Supreme Chancellor, and Dooku may hold the answers. Anakin is horrified that his friend had been accused by the Jedi, and sensing the conflict, Yoda placed Anakin and Obi-Wan in charge of the mission to retrieve the Jedi Council member. The focus of the Jedi Knight returned to the imminent mission, but he soon realised what the absence of Master T had done to the planet of Kamino, and sprinted to the communication centre. Along with the other clones, they looked for any allies on Tipoca City, and they finally reached 99, who had been helping the cadets and Kamino security guards to counter the intrusion, and he ordered the Jedi and clones to help them. Anakin and Obi-Wan mobilised their battalions and fleets as quickly as they could, but their journey still cost them several galactic days, and this time it was the Separatist fleet that blockaded their planet. Anakin knew he could use his superior strategic mind to defeat anything Grievous could throw at the Republic, and Obi-Wan took the elite clone troopers down to the planet's surface to protect the cloning facility. Domino Squad and Clone Force 99 worked in conjunction to fight off the droids, as Obi-Wan found Dooku looking at the facility with supreme confidence. Igniting his blade, Dooku lifted his into the air, but rather than throwing it to Obi-Wan or the clone embryos, he fired it towards the captured Shaak Ti. Obi-Wan had no time to reach out with the Force, but a thermal detonator arrived in time to deviate the path of the lightsaber into the wall, and at the other end of it had been 99. Dooku looked angrily at the maintenance clone, but had no time to choke him, as Obi-Wan jumped down to try and cut off his head. The Sith apprentice parried the flying Obi-Wan with his usual elegance, and the Jedi Master found his defenses straining from the precise strikes of his opponent and moved the duel away from the embryo room. Behind them, Domino Squad had untied Master T from her force-restricted bindings, and retrieving her lightsaber from a fallen super battle droid close by, she rushed in to fight Dooku, just managing to protect Obi-Wan from an injury-inducing strike. The two Jedi Council members worked seamlessly together, and Dooku's age began to show as the clones began to take back control over their home planet, and eventually Master T finds a flaw in Dooku's defenses to point her lightsaber at his throat. The Sith showed no emotion, as he knew they were not going to kill him, but unexpectedly, he found his head starting to shake and implode. From behind the Jedi, Anakin had lost his patience, and after leaving the Republic fleet in the hands of Admiral Yularen, he leapt out of his starfighter and tortured the mind of Dooku. The Jedi Knight inflicted unrivaled pain on Dooku, and Obi-Wan extracted the piece of information required, connecting the creation of the clone army to Chancellor Palpatine. As the clones placed Dooku in the safety of a force cage, the Jedi joined the battle in the skies, where the Republic had managed to restrict Grievous to his flagship, and supported by a squadron of ARC-170 starfighters, they boarded the Dreadnought. The Jedi Masters hunted down Grievous in his command deck, as Anakin led his 501st Legion to securing the hangar for their escape, but as the Republic fired at the ship, one of the tremors enabled Grievous to vanish in an escape pod, and the Jedi have to return to Coruscant. The Galactic City is nothing like their former peaceful home, as civilians were running all across the ground, and the Separatists had been diverted by General Grievous and Sidious into attacking the planet with the help of the Nexus route coordinates. As Domino Squad and Clone Force 99 disrupted the Separatist lines of communication, Obi-Wan had been joined by Kit Fisto from the Temple, and together they pursued Grievous on his rampage. Anakin, on the other hand, had finally realised that Palpatine was not the friend he had thought he was, and gathering with several of the council members, he accepted the mission from Master Windu to lure the Chancellor into a Jedi trap. Anakin steadied himself and took his starfighter to the Chancellor's office, and he felt something different from his former mentor. Palpatine looked outside of his window, with the loyal Masamida standing next to him, and without turning to Anakin, he took pride in the chaos he had caused. Palpatine still believed that Anakin would become his apprentice, and in a show of his power, he executed Order 66. The Jedi Knight pretended to be pleased by Palpatine's efforts, and guiding him into an airspeeder outside, they find themselves surrounded by the Jedi Order's most esteemed lightsaber duelists. Palpatine glared at Anakin for his betrayal, and without any warning, he shot a powerful pulse of lightning at the Jedi Knight, sending him tumbling to the floor. Most of the clones had not received the order from Palpatine to kill all of the enemies of the Republic, as they had had their chips removed, and spotting General Skywalker falling, they caught him in mid-air. Anakin decided to help the clones, in defeating those who had carried out Order 66, as well as the remaining droids. The weight of the entire droid army proves to be difficult to handle, and Anakin orders a retreat to the skies, and from the air, they could use their superior skills to outmaneuver the enemies, until they see a seismic shockwave on the ground. Palpatine had let out a giant burst of force energy in his final moments, and all of the Jedi were left suspended in stasis, when Anakin and the clones arrived to free them, taking them to the closest medical frigates. The Jedi Masters heal from the wounds they sustained, and eventually have to deal with the threat from Maul, and other pockets of resistance threatening to ruin the peace of the galaxy. Anakin is made a Jedi Master for his actions during the war, and thanks to the efforts of Padme, the clones were not decommissioned, but were instead used in a variety of worlds, to defend from any insurgents. The Domino Squad had the fortune of being in charge of the mostly dormant Kamino, and with the help of 99 and the last line of cadets, they restored the facility to its former glory, as they had redeemed themselves for the failings of their past. That is it for What If Domino Squad Survived. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.